Yeah, okay, good.
There's no point wasting the good content in the backstage. We might as well get out here with everybody. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the show. It's completely off topic, and we're departing from our normal routine a little bit on this one. What'd you guys think of your homework this week?
Homework? I didn't sign up for any homework.
Did you watch the video?
What video?
Awesome. Called it. This is going to be perfect. Well, we have a story for you that we're going to regale you with this, because you don't even have Boy Scouts in.
No, we do have Boy Scouts. We do.
Okay.
But you start out in Beavers and then advance to Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Is there merit badges?
Is there what now?
Is there merit
badges? Yes, there's merit badges.
In Beavers?
Here.
Oh my. Flying. Oh, no, I'm not going to say that.
It's way too early for that. Don't you dare. We've just got going. We definitely can't get demonetized in the first minute.
It's a flying.
Do they still call them Boy Scouts of America?
No.
In Canada?
No. I would say not.
Because Canada is part of America. It's not part of the United States of America, but it's part of America.
I love how dudes was like, wait, you can't what? And he's like, oh no, you're right.
God, that's what technically, right? Boy Scouts of America could be North America, Central America, South America.
All of the Americas.
The Americas.
Piston twisting in the house. Thanks for coming early. Midnight
Boy Scouts
was here.
of the Americas.
It does say America. It doesn't say Americas.
Boy Scouts of America. It doesn't say Boy Scouts
of
the United
totally
States
a reference to the Americas.
See, now, do you have brownies?
Yeah,
I've heard of that before.
Okay, so you got brownies.
Anna, what's up, brother?
Brownies into Girl Guides, right? Or Girl.
Okay, so Girl Scouts.
Is where we get the
here
cookies.
Girl Guides.
Now, why don't the brownies sell brownies, and why do the Girl Scouts sell cookies?
Well, because I think you can get charged for selling brownies. You're not supposed to sell that stuff, right?
Oh, okay. We're just
on the brownie.
On. Nope. 2 minutes is too early for human trafficking talk. God.
What?
Come back later.
Reel it back in.
I was trying to lead Jim into using his certain cowboy.
Oh no, we are not doing that today. We're going to leave it out. We're going to leave it out, and we're going to see what happens. This is a legitimate podcast for podcast people.
Place to speak about
so no Rogaine cowboy today.
No, there'll be none of that. Okay. None of that. All right.
I didn't sign up for that.
Well, we didn't. We left it. We said we would negotiate it, and this is us negotiating now.
Yeah, we're done negotiating, Jim. You're out.
I thought we were going to have another long discussion on the 80s.
I am down. I am down for some conspiracy stories and theories from the 80s to do next. This one's actually from the 90s.
Kind of.
No, it's the 90s.
Dude was born in 78.
Was he born in 78?
Yes.
Who are we talking about?
Okay, so
17 and 90.
With our stoler. Have you ever heard of the Radioactive Boy Scout? You ever heard?
Yes.
Okay, so we are talking about that today. I sent everyone a video through the Discord and was like, let's watch this and talk about it. So we're going to kind of regale everyone who hasn't heard about it with our... I love using that word. Shake your head at me one more time.
What day count? Why from 1995? Regaling. Let's go.
Regaling. Well, there you go. Piston Twisted nailed it. Beavers to Cubs to Boy Scouts. That's how it goes here.
Oh, you didn't tell us about Cubs.
Yeah, what about these Cubs?
Yeah, we're Cub Scouts, so we belong to Boy Scouts.
Sea Cadets. Oh, yeah, though. Okay.
We have Air Cadets, too.
Like I said, we had Sea Cadets around, naval bases and stuff. They'd bring them on to see Navy stuff.
What?
But anyways, back to the Radioactive Boy Scout.
Yes. We did some research on that. And by research, I mean we watched a few YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
We listened to things that were told to us about stuff.
Just
from other people.
We're on the same page. We're talking about the young lad that built a reactor in his mom's garden shed.
In her garden shed. Exactly. So a lot more people, I put up a post on this on my YouTube. A lot more people have heard about this than I thought. And then the few that didn't, I think
it was a documentary in 2000,
but not in America.
Well,
But he's
I mean,
from America.
aren't all of your viewers from the UK? I thought that was a trend.
No. That's Dude's channel. They're all monocles and top hats. Dallas.
I thought I had some Barbie viewers, but apparently not.
You do not have. You're not a. You don't strike me as.
Let's go away. You can't even say that. I'm not sure that's okay.
Jim is trying to get himself in on some of that sweet Barbie money.
That's right.
Let's not go there.
Y'all can do what I can. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
There's no need to go there.
All right, so the Radioactive Boy Scout starts off with essentially this dude gets a chemistry book for his 10th birthday.
And a chemistry set.
Well, no, that's where it diverts from there. He actually goes and he's so into it, he starts using his allowance to buy things for his chemistry set, and not like kiddie chemistry stuff.
No,
He's buying like Bunsen burners, real chemistry
but
shit.
let's talk. How old was he at the time? Like 12 or something?
Well, so so 17 is in 94. He's 17, and he gets caught with a nuclear reactor in his Pontiac, and this is where it ties into being a car thing, Jim. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
He was stuffing a nuclear reactor into the back of a Pontiac. If that doesn't leave America,
as I recall, the police were called on him because someone thought he was stealing tires.
Stealing tires, yes.
Off of his own car, which is kind of odd. But...
Well, so that's where the story gets a little murky, and depending on where you watch the documentary from or whatever, they didn't find the shed at his mom's house until 2 months later.
He didn't
tell them, which means he wasn't in front of his mom's house when he got busted with the reactor.
No.
Because otherwise they would have just went to the shed. So I think he was just somewhere where he was going to dump said reactor.
He was planning on taking it to the forest to bury it very deep, were his words.
Yes.
Well, and
this kid is 17 at the time. He's 17 now.
Well, yeah,
1994.
We skipped the whole beginning of how this built up to this, and we're at the end. But as I also recall, there was something to do with federal jurisdiction versus EPA jurisdiction versus
for the
this
cleanup.
Is another reason why it took so long to kind of get everything cleaned up.
Yeah, well, there wasn't a lot of
no,
things.
It's not my department. I'm not touching that.
Turns out there wasn't a lot in place for a homegrown nuclear reactor in Detroit.
Yes, have we mentioned the nuclear word yet? Because up to this point we've just said reactor. I think
radiation.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes in. We're good.
Are we not supposed to say nuclear? Is nuclear off is a no word?
And actually, it was a breeder reactor. He was actually trying to create more material for nuclear use.
Well, so breeder reactor, it takes non-nuclear stuff and turns it into nuclear stuff, and because he wasn't doing this to like make a dirty bomb or do anything crazy. He was literally trying to have an experiment to build a better breeder reactor than real scientists.
Generate power forever.
Yes. Well, he thought he was going to make the breakthrough.
Well, he was, he's just ahead of the curve. He was like, this was got to be Elon's best buddy growing up or something.
This kid needed more adult freaking supervision. if you ask me personally.
Well, that seemed to be part of the problem, wasn't it? Is that everyone just kind of like, yeah, here's your stuff, go.
He's not out doing drugs, so that's better. At least it could be worse.
Building a nuclear reactor.
Well, they didn't know he was doing science, but there were signs.
But he had blown
exactly. I was just
a number of times.
Yes.
Not to change the subject, but I think all of us have heard, hey, at least we're not out doing drugs. We're making YouTube videos. Right?
Or doing scumbag things with cars. I mean,
that too,
yeah. I mean, it could be worse,
Yeah, it could be worse.
Well, so
we could be.
Before this kid got to the shed, he was in his room and blew up his room enough times that they kicked him out to the basement. Yeah. They said the basement doesn't have carpet that you can melt, so it's concrete, so that's a better place. Until he had a real explosion down there that they were like, yeah, you got to go outside. And this is where I don't go, as the parent, you don't go, hey, maybe explosive materials and a 13-year-old is a bad idea. Like, at what point
used a glass crucible to mash red phosphorus?
Tell them what red phosphorus is.
It's literally the tip of a match.
He took tips of matches, cut them all off, put them in this beaker, and then smashed. And then it went boomy boom and shot glass into his eyeballs.
Yes, after that incident, I think we got to keep in mind that, first of all, I believe his name was David. Is that correct? David or Daniel?
You really
some with a D. Han is his last name. Yes. I don't know that I really want to. I don't really want to promote his name as you know what I mean? Because this dude did some dumb stuff.
Well, he did, but it was also fascinating. But anyways,
I think the more fascinating part is the people that were complicit with his bullshit.
Well, here's the thing: is he came from a separated house.
Okay.
So I believe the first incidents took place in his dad's place.
Yes, he was living primarily with his dad.
Basement, they're like, okay, you're done. And he went to his mom's place. I think that's what happened.
And from the way everything I understand it through the copious amounts of research that we've done is that it was a lot easier to get away with things at mom's house than it was at dad's house. Far less questions were asked. But he could literally go and build a nuclear reactor.
Well, not only that, but he was out in the shed at that point, right? He's not actually in the house at mom's place, right?
Yeah, no, the shed is out.
The shed is his own little haven, we'll call it. Fortress of Solitude. Did Jim get Starlinked on us?
No, he's there. I can see something moving.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, he's moving. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a case of what could be worse. At least he's not on the street doing whatever. He's in the shed. What all could he be getting into?
2 parents, 3 parents, 4 parents. Let's say 4 parents, 4 adult people that should have been watching over him.
Facts.
There does come a point when you just go, well, he's just playing with science. He can't be doing anything wrong. I mean, this is before internet times. This is, there was a lot of things he could have been doing.
He actually saved up his money and bought books.
And all the supplies.
Yeah. And the supplies. But what's more concerning than his parents is how he got a hold of some information and some items.
Yeah, all you have to do is pretend to be a professor of freaking whatever.
Hey, well, we shouldn't give these secrets away.
Well, no, I would hope, and where dudes will have to tell us some of this, I would hope they've gotten stricter with some of this stuff.
Have they? I feel like the internet has made this wildly more available to people.
Well, I mean,
I would tend to agree with dudes on this.
Buff, what's up, brother?
The information is far more
available.
Now,
but here's the good
news.
Would
it be as easy to get the material that he
That's where, because he ordered things and samples from people that I don't believe should just be so easily given out.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's go to the smoke alarms. For those of you that are not familiar with this story, he got 100 smoke alarms delivered to him.
And on a deal because he bought so many.
But the way he did that was pretending to be a university professor, which I can see how that would not,
well, and not only that, he called and talked to nuclear panels and people that worked at this, and they told him how to get the stuff. Like he didn't know that you got that from those. He had someone tell him, like, for real, what is going on?
Now, I happen to know about some of this stuff just from my education in the aircraft, right? So I do know that like a lot of the World War II airplanes and clocks and stuff like that, stuff that was made back then had a lot of radioactive material in them to give them that luminescence at night so that they would glow. Now, we all know that glow is a bad thing.
That's why you drink
know that then.
You drink the chem lights and then you glow, right? That's
how that works.
Yes. Yeah.
So
the outhouse glows.
The outhouse glows.
Yeah. Yeah. Only after you've used it.
Yeah, that's it's insane to me that many adults.
Well,
just, you said the two sets of parents and then teachers, and because he wasn't a good student as much as into science and everything as he was a terrible student at every other facet that didn't keep his
now
attention.
Now here's the thing to identify. Do you classify him as a genius level person for his mediocre ability to do science through learning on his own accord? Or do you view him as the same as the local meth chemist who's just building something in a trailer that potentially blows up and levels a city block?
It's definitely different because the Mexican Americans will drive after the drug as like it's pulling them, whereas this dude was just trying to do something cool from a Walter Wright. He wasn't getting high on radioactive,
but later in life he was definitely a drug addict.
Oh yeah, well, okay, but what part of that is
alcohol poisoning? Didn't he?
That's a little more than that.
Oh, did he?
Well, okay, well,
you Starlinked over there.
I think the official cause of death was to do with alcohol.
Alcohol mixed with fentanyl mixed with allergy medication.
All right.
Yeah, he's still doing some chemistry.
Yeah.
So
I think he's just barely above someone making meth. I don't think he's
how do you justify someone's intelligence just because they do a thing you're not supposed to be doing?
No, I think you have to be intelligent to create even with a blueprint to create a nuclear reactor. You have to have some intelligence that most people.
I don't think he's stupid.
Exactly. I think if he had been more better pointed, I guess.
Give somebody with the term intelligence.
I'm not calling him
average intelligence directions, and they should be able to follow it.
I'm not calling him a genius by any stretch of the imagination.
In the aspect of I'm going to crush red phosphorus with a hammer does not breed intelligence.
I'm going to address this because I'm sure every one of us knows one of those genius level people, but they have no social skill whatsoever, or they have no. What's that?
Because their brain no worky good.
Well, yeah, or they have no what we would call common sense, but they are freaking amazing at like what computer programming or chemistry or math or something like that.
Therein lies the overall issue. Can you truly call somebody intelligent because they're stuck on a single idea and a single thing they can do?
I think there's lots of there's lots of people that fit that very description.
So we're just going to call them intelligent. They're intelligent.
I'll call him intelligent. Will I call him street smart? No.
Well, I'd call him stupid because all the end of the day that I saw in the video, definitely stupid.
So, but here's the trick. This is the trick. There's a difference between intelligence and just being dumb. That is, you have a child, because he's a child, all of this. And this is where the parenting, I think, comes into a bigger thing with it. You're right. You're going to have a child do dumb things because they don't know yet. They're learning. And if no one's there, like this kid shouldn't have been turned loose with a chemistry set by himself. Somebody who knew something about chemistry should have been in the room to say, hey, dummy, yo, you can't do that.
And here's the other side of this too. He took a lot of other people's intelligence to understand what he needed to do. He was just shooting at the wall and hoping he hit something. He literally drove around with a Geiger counter trying to find nuclear material just by, the thing's beeping, go that way. There's a rock.
So I guess the difference is
at some point he clued in that with that Geiger counter when he was like 6 blocks away from his house.
That's why
this is a bad idea.
He got 5 blocks from the house or 5 houses down, and he could still read it. And he's like, "Oh, we need to do something about that."
But
I want to just point out right now
the ultimate hold my beer moment, right? Like we have all done stupid things.
The thing is, he didn't do that to show off to a bunch of people. He wasn't building methamphetamines because he needed the methamphetamines. He was just doing a thing to see if he could do it. I think that's a bit of a separation.
Or is that legitimately crazy? Like, at what point does that become a level of insanity?
I would go.
I hate to interrupt, but I thought I'd look at Amazon. do you know that their bestseller Geiger counter, they sold 800 of them in the last month. Geiger counters.
Oh, that seems legit.
Is that up from last year? I haven't been tracking.
Was it a couple sticks that kind of?
That's a lot. Why would 800 people need to buy one?
I gotta say, are they going to Ukraine?
Well, I mean, maybe I don't know.
I feel like that's a low number, actually.
They're $73. They're $73, and right now you can save 10% with a coupon.
I love this.
If they're under $100, we're only selling 800 of them a year. That's not even good profit margins. And I feel like why are we even producing them still?
Destroyer here with I got a cousin who can build one cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably does.
I can build one who can trade for an 87.
So look, this one, there's 400. There's 400 a month of this one, 100 a month of this one. So, I mean,
So, I mean, I can't say that I'm too surprised that there's a bunch of those being sold because have you ever heard that? Was it one now? Well, like I said, what's the TikTok where I now have adult money, which means I can make bigger, bad decisions with my money. A Geiger counter is one of those things that's kind of cool, like you said. I could use that maybe.
I wish CP was watching right now so he could tell us which one's the best one. He might know.
Facts.
He might actually know. Yeah, that's
Becky has put the entire story comment by comment through. So if you thought our explanation of how this story went with this dude was a little lacking, Becky's transcribing it for everyone. So make sure you say thank you to Becky.
Storytelling sucks.
Our storytelling sucks, but that was kind of the point of this. I kind of wanted it for that because I think it lends to what we're doing here.
As a spinoff of Radioactive Material goes, just for a little bit of context and informational purposes for others, I live in a state where radon is a thing. Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes out of the soil. It comes from rocks. It comes from radioactive material letting off gas into the air, creating radon. So radon fills basements. What?
Do sawdust piles put off radon? Because I took a video of that sawdust pile up on the hill, and one comment on that was, "But that thing's emitting so much radon," and I'm like,
"Rocks, all rocks emit radon. If they've been in the earth, they probably have some form of radioactive particles, just the same as the minerals and things that were talked about in this exact video that he was trying to collect." So when you start talking about radon specifically, houses cannot be sold in the state I live in unless radon.
Make sure you come back.
Because radon level can be so high, it can cause things like lung cancer, etc. So radon levels have to be checked, and then you have to have a radon litigation system put into your home to litigate.
What do you mean mitigate or litigate?
Mitigate? Removal?
Litigate would be where we talk about what we're going to do.
Right,
I think mitigate is when you try to make
legal action about the radon.
All right. System to remove radon. There we go. Big words don't need to be had. So when you remove radon, you're literally just releasing it at a higher point than the house so it doesn't hurt the people inside.
Oh, it's fine up there, just not down here.
Yeah, it's like an emission systems on a car when you just add oxygen. It's better now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But what people don't understand, if you put real marble anything in your house, marble tops emit radon. There is actual large California homes that have marble floors, marble countertops, etc., and have lethal amounts of radon in the home that is being put off by the countertops and floor. So when we start talking about radioactive materials and how easy they are to acquire,
this is what I love about Completely Off Topic is we go down rabbit holes like this. And now if you've got marble countertops and floors, you're dead.
Well, don't check for radon in your house because you'll be sadly upset. But it goes back to the point of finding radioactive materials in nature is not that hard.
No, it really isn't.
So when you're like, this dude's a genius.
But you're talking about back. Well, so you're right, but here's where the trick is. He made a breeder reactor, so he was making more radio. He
didn't really. He just started pulling together, and it started to glow the house. And he's like, "This isn't working."
He only used one layer. That was the best part. It was literally radioactive material, tinfoil, some radioactive ash, and duct tape.
But here's the
Lots
we all
and
know
lots.
he made a reactor.
And Buff,
make a
this is
reactor.
where it comes
He
back to being
attempted
car
to.
guides. No, he made it. That thing was reacting.
He attempted to make a breeder reactor.
I think he became concerned when his mom started glowing in the dark.
I don't know that she ever. Well, yeah, I don't know. Do
Yeah.
do we want to talk about that?
Into that? Maybe a little too much radiation.
No, she did not die of any related radiation.
I don't know.
Related.
If that revolver was there
no.
when it was being done, it would have actually been a radioactive bullet.
Yeah, everything there. So here's the wild part about the whole thing. Do you know what it cost the EPA to clean that whole mess up?
Probably a lot.
I would like your number because I know the number.
$110,000. We're talking about 90.
Nope.
No, I'm gonna say it's gonna
almost
be at least
half.
$2 million.
Nope.
What?
You're way off. Jim,
What?
you got a number? What it cost the government to clean up that mess once he made it. Now that's just the backyard mess, not the reactor itself.
They took the shed and buried it with all the other nuclear waste.
$60,000 is what it cost them to have that all cleaned up. And yeah, that's what I thought when they said.
Let's upscale that.
That's 90s pricing. I mean,
that would
cost
$93,000, $60K now.
That's only like what 100. It doubled maybe.
126,000. So I was
boom, called it. But 126,000 for taking down a shed, putting it in 55-gallon drums piece by piece, and then shipping it to what they say.
Are you about to say that's pretty affordable?
It is for 120 grand for nuclear cleanup.
Give me a suit. Give me a Geiger counter.
It's not that bad. I feel. Do you know how many millions and billions we've been given to Russia to get rid of their nuclear arm pile because it needs to be disposed the right way? And they can dispose exactly. We're totally overpaying because these dudes over there, 60 grand, are cleaning up old Bobby's freaking nuclear fishing shed.
They put a bunch of it in the barrels, and they took the whole shed and they buried the shed with all the
they took the pieces of the shed down piece by piece, crumpled it up, and put them in 55-gallon drums.
Yeah, and then buried those drums.
And then buried the drums. That's what they did.
Drums with all the other nuclear waste.
Well, yeah, from years.
And the best part is they suspect a lot more people were affected by the high doses of radiation because Mommy Dearest threw things away before they cleaned up.
In those 2 months that he didn't tell them about his mom's nuclear radioactive shed, his mom may or may not.
Guys. Probably.
So this is anyhow. So she got rid of some things and threw them in the garbage can. The wild story about this whole thing. Okay, I keep saying that it's all wild, but he was never actually charged with anything. No cleanup fees. No, nuclear. I don't even know. I guess, but
it was a learning moment.
Like seriously.
Well, I thought he did get charged with something.
He didn't.
Later on in life, he was charged after he got out of the Navy because Fox, it's a Navy guy because of course it is
a nuclear sub.
To be fair, he was a nuclear Boy Scout before he went on. He was not on a sub. They wouldn't let him do anything with nuke because of his background radiation bullshit. So
crazy.
He was on a carrier Enterprise, I think it was.
Okay,
but yeah.
Isn't the Enterprise still nuclear powered though?
It is.
It is, but they didn't let him do he wanted to go do nuclear stuff because because I'm sure he told everyone the story. Like I know nuclear stuff or whatever, but
yeah, I'm sure everyone on the Enterprise knew exactly who he was, and they're like, yeah, if you see him near the reactor, kill him.
I am sure there were some protocols put in place because that dude was on the boat. Yeah.
I have a son that's talking in my ear over here right now. That's like, I know everything about this. I'm sure you.
Well, tell him come on down. It's just listen. We need somebody with some intelligence in this panel.
Do you have a garden shed?
I actually do not have a garden.
You might
not allowed to have.
You might want to check it.
City rules.
Yeah. Have you bought your son a chemistry set?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we probably got nothing to be worried about then.
Yeah. At least he's not doing drugs.
Not making drugs.
I did. I watched a couple of videos on this, and that seemed to be the consensus from everyone that tells the story, is that every adult in this dude's life was like, well, he could be doing worse things.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't think so.
that's what everyone thought up until they realized that he was doing that.
I mean, he could be doing crack, or he could be doing.
Listen, I hear what does it say? Heroin. It's a hell of a drug. That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
Well, you could be a certain type of cowboy. Yes, we get it, Jim.
He was leading for it, but I wasn't going to give it to him. My uncle can do it for $500 and a pack of Pall Malls.
Well, maybe
seriously,
this whole thing was just a lack of pornographic material. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
That's what he needed. If this dude was on the internet, old jerking the gherkin, he would have been not that. So actually, that goes back to what they said about like Microsoft. And I saw
down there.
I feel like jerking the gherkin isn't going to be the thing that gets us.
Pumping the gherkin. I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to make it worse.
I feel like we've done worse things.
There you go.
I was
going to say, you better check that.
I haven't seen yet today, but we're good.
Oh, excellent.
They love us right now. It's not until an hour that does that.
The reference to gherkins, that's going to get us there.
The gherkin. Jesus. I don't even know where my thought was. I've lost my train of thought.
Okay,
here.
well, now the interesting thing about this is like we were talking about these common everyday items that have this stuff in it, like clocks, smoke detectors. But let's tie this back into cars a little bit. Do you have any idea what is in your car that is toxic?
Calic converter.
I'm gonna say there's tons of shit in there.
Tons of stuff. A lot of the switches are toxic because they got mercury in them.
Yep.
The only thing not toxic are electric cars. Those are completely.
I agree. Those are completely toxic because you're riding around. I've said this before, and everyone's laughed at me, but you're riding around in a Faraday cage essentially.
So let's talk about mercury.
Oh.
Mercury is one of those things that people look at it and go, oh my God, mercury will kill you. And they've made the minute amounts of mercury they say are poisonous to you. But in reality, mercury was like one of those things, just like a lot of the things this guy used for nuclear reactor stuff. People used it to like straighten hats. Like you just dip your fingers in mercury and you straighten a hat. That's how you got Mad Hatter syndrome. And it comes down to mercury was digested and touched by thousands of people for generations before somebody decided mercury bad. And then once we decided mercury bad.
Mercury was bad. That's not to say it wasn't bad. You say that like there's a mercury conspiracy. Like they came against your mercury. Was your family old mercury?
I feel like you could dip your mercury.
Yeah. They were mercury barons, and that the dudes with wrenches line has failed since then.
Did you know that they actually used to feed the Chinese emperor chocolate-covered mercury?
I can totally believe that. I'm just saying, it takes a lot more to kill you than what they give it credit for.
I was going to say, what didn't they used to do something with gold or something like that, where they pump gold through you or silver to cure you from tuberculosis or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, they special earth metals.
And no one, guess what? No one ever survived that treatment.
Because they had tuberculosis.
Destroyer? Well, I bet it got rid of the whatever the seas was.
Yeah,
doesn't problem anymore. Destroyer kind of nailed that right there. We played mercury in kindergarten. I remember doing that too.
I remember mercury experiments and things. I don't think we got to play with it like in our bare hands, but we definitely did. You?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I have cleaned out mercury replacement. So when you do the heat pieces in a lot of servers. You have to have mercury. And I have taken jars of mercury out of old storage cabinets, and it's like, what do I do with this? And it was like, don't tell anybody about that.
This is going to be a big problem if you don't. And it's like, we don't speak its name.
This jar comes with an eyedropper, and people used to go bloop, bloop.
Oh, look, mercury is so outlawed, they've taken away all the old dimes.
Yep.
Mercury dimes.
Mercury. Yeah, I see what you. I was just going to
encounter with it at work one time. We had an aircraft from, we'll say, Asia, and one of the guys was in the cargo pit, and he's like, "Hey, what's this thing?" And he's pushing around this silver blob, and then he clued into what it was. He's like, "Oh," so he's like, "We might have an issue here." So we bring the X-ray in, and we X-ray the airplane. That whole bottom skin was filled and contaminated with mercury.
From where?
Well, from the cargo, because it was from Asia.
It was just leaking. Oh, okay.
They'll put thermometers, everything. They don't care over there.
Yeah.
And so it just contaminated all the skins on the lower part of the aircraft. So we had to remove, I think, about 4 skins on this thing and reskin the bottom of the aircraft.
And what did you do with those skins?
Well, we had the biocontaminant people come in and get rid of them.
I feel like it's an industry at a certain point in America for contaminated things.
So it depends. So the weight caps on the end of the stabilator on a C-130 depleted uranium because it's the heaviest thing for the smallest or whatever they could use on them.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to go up there and like paint or grind on that piece over there.
I can't imagine why.
Weird.
There is large companies and cities that do nothing but manufacture asbestos and send it to India. Because in America, you can't have it. It can't be here. We have to package it in shrink-wrapped containers and send it to other countries so they can use it. And they literally tear it open with a box cutter, scoop it out with a fork, and just start kicking it around.
Well, yes. That's how that's how
we fix the world's population.
No, that's not how you fix it. That's industrialized countries use people to throw out a problem, and it's cheaper that way because people's lives are worthless in those countries, according to big business. It's the same thing. Well, no, it's the same way in this. It was in this country when they started the Industrial Revolution, and then everywhere it's gone to an Industrial Revolution.
I don't think that has changed depending on the country.
It doesn't. It's
people's lives are still considered pretty worthless.
No. At a certain point, you'll get like the Teamsters and whatnot that come in and make safety and health and safety and all. You can look at any of the Britain or us or any of the other industrialized nations. They go to a point where it's like, oh, now we need to worry about all these things, and then we just send all those manufacturing to people that don't because it's cheaper when they don't.
That's true. Yeah.
And then we just create that. It's going on right now. China is literally starting to not be the place that manufactures everything anymore because they're like, hey, we're getting cancers and dying and we want more money. And they're like, well, you know who doesn't? India. So we're going to go make things in India now. It's literally happening.
The people that drink, swim, and bathe all in the same river.
Yeah, we'll go there and they'll do it just fine. It's like go to Somalia and go along any of the coastlines and they're shipbreaking there, where they take all of these massive ships that are not serviceable anymore and they just cut them up on a beach and sell them for scrap because that's not putting anything terrible anywhere.
No, it's good.
It's fine.
It's good. It's fine.
As long as it's just on beach.
It's over there, so that's
it's okay.
They put the oil.
I didn't even catch this when you said
that. Leave it to Destroyer to catch that.
I'm a wee bit disappointed in myself, Eric, that I didn't catch that. I'm better than that.
Nope. Apparently not.
That's a joke I missed.
Not tonight.
It all comes back to learning curves when you start talking about these chemicals. It goes back to like they used forms of cyanide to essentially kill bugs in crops. Guess when they figured out that was a bad idea.
Well, I mean, this goes back to going back to old times. Who's the first guy to like pick a banana and be like, oh, let me see what this thing. Let me put this in my mouth. Or like blowfish, the puffer fish.
Let's figure out if we can eat this thing.
Yeah. Let's play the game of can we eat it? Because there's things that you realized, hey, Bob, try that. Oh, shit. Don't eat that thing Bob ate. We don't eat that anymore.
Everything but that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it goes back to things had tasters for a reason. It wasn't just because of poison. It was because, what are we trying today? I don't know. We're running out of stuff. Grind the bark off that tree and see if we can eat it.
Have Bob try
it. We caught this thing in the ocean. Never seen one before. Get that part of it.
We need a new Bob. Give me Bob, please.
No one wants to be Bob.
You're Bob.
No. What's your name? My name's Freddie. It's Bob now.
You're Bob now.
Here's a red shirt.
Brown M&Ms were bad in the 60s. Why were brown M&Ms bad? Were they radioactive?
Root beer. If you go back to the original sarsaparilla or the original root beer, it had ingredients that you're not supposed to drink, and they were giving it to everybody.
Oh, go back to Coca-Cola. Oh, cocaine cola.
Just a little sniffing powder.
It's just a little bit of mama's sniffing powder.
Just a tiny bit. It's fine.
Most commercial grade good drugs started out as medicine.
So question. If you were big into Coca-Cola and rode horses, what kind of a person would you be, Jim?
You'd be a Coca-Cola cowboy, yeah.
Yeah.
And you just ride that horse so hard.
Yeah. Pepsi was invented as an energy drink.
Yeah.
Pep. Pep, it's right there in the name.
Yeah. Pick you right up. The thing is, both of those were literally snake oil companies. Like both of the people that started.
Here's what ails you. The doctor told me so.
Yeah.
If your main spoke is it tastes like the real thing, I don't know. By the way, he just showed us a diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forget to do that for our non-live people. Turns out, if you miss what's going on in the podcast, come watch us live. It's way more entertaining. Jägermeister
was a medicine. I'm assuming there was a lot of alcohol.
Was because I've stood by the
always thought it, tasted like cough syrup.
Yeah, Jägermeister still is medicine, and sometimes I need my medicine.
Try some Jägermeister ginger.
No, I watched you do that and know that that's bad for you.
It's not great.
I could tell how terrible that was just from through the internet.
Ooze through the screen.
Listen, the look on his face told a story that
you never want to tell again.
It tastes the flavors.
Listen, it was like hearing a car wreck and everyone died.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it was quick.
It wasn't. It was agonizing. It was like you remember the log truck scene in Final Destination? It was like quick. That.
I knew someone that worked on that movie.
Really?
Yeah, she's the person that got sucked out of the airplane.
Ah,
nice.
Yeah, that movie.
Past tense.
Well, because she got sucked.
Yeah, by an airplane.
Out of the airplane.
You know that didn't happen in real life, right? She didn't actually die.
Would have been
that's why that movie was so successful, is because it was
everyone actually died in that
documentary, man.
Like it was from we have all this faces of death footage. Now what can we do with it? Final Destination. Make the movie.
Throw it into.
They'll think it's real because it is.
Makes sense.
Oh Jesus!
Brilliant.
That's a whole other thing to talk about. The reality of what point does the human mind actually conceptualize the reality of an event like that when we've seen so many fake versions of it that we cannot fathom the actual thing because we've probably seen a better representation of it on film.
Well, a perfect example is a gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything. A gun's gonna knock you backwards or some craziness, and it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Depends on the caliber
and how much body armor you're wearing. Because
usually,
you don't go.
It's not just that, but if you hear a gunshot in a movie, it's like this grand noise. It's whereas you actually go out and shoot a gun, it's like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, easily mistaken for something.
It's like silencers are quiet in movies, and you ever shot a real silencer?
They're not quiet. They're just quiet enough that you don't have to wear hearing protection sometimes.
Yes, it lessens that tinnitus
on a 22.
Yeah, exactly. They're not aliens.
Yeah, we're not going to go there because no one cares.
But there's no need to talk about aliens.
Let's bring back cars and movies.
Wait, is that aliens thing a real thing?
Yeah. Oh, they're
Which
saying it's a
one?
real thing.
Oh no, because I've been seeing memes and things
The
talking about it.
government has
Hold on,
officially
hold on,
said
hold on.
aliens are
I
real.
think this is next week's topic.
I actually saw something and I thought it was bullshit. And I live in the middle of nowhere, and fires are more important than aliens at the moment.
Well,
so that's real. What you wait a minute? What you're telling me is that's real. That's not just some weird
there is
bullshit.
depositions going on right now in a real courtroom setting about the fact that aliens are real.
Yeah, they've come down and they have screwed with our brain to get us to not care about them. So yeah.
I don't care either way, but
That's why you don't care.
Oh, you've been really messed with then, Wasted.
Oh, I mean,
You've definitely been abducted if that's the case.
I mean, look at me.
I mean, they come down in your neighborhood all the time. It's where they land.
Well, that is true. They take the people right.
No, the aliens do not come to my areas. We have we have Mexican Americans here, and aliens are afraid.
Yeah, Mexican American. That's what happens when the aliens come.
No. These guys catch the aliens and do butt stuff to the aliens. They don't come here. Yeah, it's
possible.
It's
all getting probed to completion, and then you become a meth head when you're done.
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
you could be onto something there.
Seems reasonable.
Because I would do meth after that. Pretty sure.
Well,
violent nausea. Listen, you chill that stuff, Fox, down to just about frozen, and then you shoot it or add Red Bull. You're good all day.
Freeze it.
Oh, you can totally freeze the crap out of that. I've got one in the freezer right now. It's been there for weeks, months.
It doesn't freeze.
Not all the way, but you get it as cold as freaking humanly possible.
Yeah, but it doesn't freeze.
I understand it's alcohol. Obviously, it's not going to freeze, but you get it to where it's really, really cold. God.
You're like frozen, no?
As close to it as you can get.
Jägermeister ice. I totally would.
You can freeze alcohol, but
it's going to take some doing.
It's going to take some doing.
Well, that's how cold. That's how cold Jägermeister needs to be good.
Cold enough to burn the skin off your tongue if you touch it. Yeah.
Nuclear reactor powered freezer. We'll do it.
I do want to come back to the fact that he never did get his Pontiac back.
Was it a Pontiac Aztec?
It wasn't an Aztec, but it was a Pontiac.
It was a Pontiac. I don't know what type of.
Because in the documentary they kept showing a Chevy Beretta, which I don't.
That makes sense.
They called it a Pontiac at some point.
Yeah, Pontiac, Beretta, whatever.
Yeah, the narrator said that he did exactly what all the professionals do and loaded all the nuclear waste into the trunk of his Pontiac.
And that's a caveat, the best thing ever. He could have lied. He wasn't good at lying. Like they could be like, "What's in the back?" He'd be like, "Not."
Well, to be fair, how this went down, they showed up and said, "Hey, you're that kid stealing tires." And he's like, "I'm not stealing anything." And they're like, "Well, what's this in your truck?" And he's like, "Don't open my trunk. It's radioactive." And that's when the cops said, "That's not the right thing you say to a cop."
Yeah.
I think that's the point
where the cop goes. You could have went with probably drugs, and they would have went like, "That doesn't look like drugs."
I don't look like drugs, but no, you went. It's radioactive. Don't open. Well, no, before they even saw they wanted to open up and look in there. And he's like, "Don't open the trunk. It's radioactive in there." And of course, they're gonna open the trunk, and then they thought it was a bomb.
And then I feel like he was just being super honest. I mean,
he was. Yeah. I think he was quite a bit naive to the gravity of what he was doing at the time.
But that goes back to: are you really intelligent? You're like, it's just radioactive.
So yeah, you're linking intelligence with knowledge, and you can be intelligent but not have the knowledge to not make dumb decisions. You see the difference?
Well, let's call it wisdom.
Well, so you don't understand that the world's gonna, something's gonna blow up until you make it blow up.
Until it blows up.
Yeah. Well, this is like the guy who ate that thing the first time and knew what it. I mean, how did we find out that when you put these two things together, they blow up?
You strike it and it goes poof. Right?
Okay.
So if you take a whole bunch of matches and smash them up and bang on them.
Well, so
having or indicating an understanding of natural consequences of an act or decision, a knowing and intelligent waiver of counsel. That is the definition of intelligence.
Okay, hold on. I'd say that's more wisdom because let's break it down to intelligence.
Telling
and
you what the
wisdom.
internet said.
So
I can't put anything on the internet. That's not true.
You've got enough intelligence to say, oh, it's raining out. It's raining hard. It's hailing. Wisdom is, I should go seek shelter.
Okay. But you can be dumb either way.
Yeah, you can be dumb on either side of that.
Oh, easily, yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
But you can have a high amount of one and a very low amount of the other.
Okay.
Yes.
Secondary definition has the ability to think and understand and learn things quickly and well.
Yeah, but here's the trick.
So
He was learning.
well.
He was learning things.
Like how Geiger counters, man, that meter says bad. Maybe his Geiger counter didn't have warning; it just had like a peak. Like, I don't really emphasize that this is bad.
I feel like we don't know exactly what he was taught. Maybe he skipped over the chapter on containment.
Maybe he was skimming, like meter good, peak bad.
Yeah.
We need to know.
Oh, I didn't find that, but he has an ASVAB score for sure.
Oh.
So back to you were talking about how he went out in the end. I don't think he turned to drugs and all those other things because they made him to where he couldn't do chemistry ever again. It was like a hacker who can't touch the internet. You know what I mean? He was the thing that he loved was taken away from him.
May have had something to do with the deterioration of his mind, or maybe the broken home, or the fact that his mom started a fucking handgun.
We hadn't told him that part of the story yet, but way to just blow that. I was saving that for a better part of the story.
I feel like this guy is so dangerous. He's like a kung fu expert that has to go register his hands. You know, he's got to register his nuclear brain.
His brain. I'm sure he was on a watch list of some sort.
I don't think he ever stopped. I don't think there was ever a point where they stopped him from doing chemistry things.
Yeah.
I think he was just doing like
Navy and said, no, we're not going to let you anywhere near the reactor.
True,
but I mean, feel like there's an underlining, like maybe the Navy was an option, so he didn't go to jail. Like it's one of those stories they don't tell you about. Where like, if you go join the military, you won't have to serve time.
That is definitely a thing, and we can keep an eye on you a lot easier here.
And we'll promise you nuclear reactor adjacent.
I don't think so. I don't think that was ever on the table for him.
Adjacent.
We're gonna dangle that carrot in front of you. Here's look, a nuclear reactor. It's right over here.
Well, they also don't tell you. They also don't tell you what he did in the Navy. I couldn't find that I didn't look hard, but they didn't exactly.
Oh no, he was communications.
Oh, did you get that for yours?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was communicator. And he actually ended as an E5 when he was let go. So.
Sorry, they're pissed. Well, there's a lot of people. Well, he got out medically too. Mental. Yeah. Was it mental?
Yes.
I mean, I can't say that dude had his screws all together. Let's not kid ourselves.
I don't believe anyone subjected to nuclear radioactive poisoning is probably going to go away with the same cellular structure left in your brain for cognitive thought as a regular person.
So you're saying Oppenheimer was ruined after the Trinity test?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
100%. Like, you can't tell me that if poison is going into my system and changing my cellular structures, that all my functions are intact.
You can't tell me that your functions have not become more in tune because now you're nuclear man.
Now you're Spider-Man?
Yeah, you're Spider-Man. Goddamn right. You open the door to this one. I'm coming in with where do I get fucking superpowers?
All right. Well, right now, change yourself some nuclear material and Spider-Man yourself up.
Yeah, let's settle it this way. For every Spider-Man, there's how many bad mutants?
Well, so real question though, do you have to expose the spider to the radiation, or I need a spider and we both get exposed to the radiation? I'm a little confused on how. I think
you need to create your radon gun or whatever he created to radiate materials.
I can answer this.
And then radiate a bunch of spiders and then eat those spiders every day.
I gotta eat the spiders. I thought the spiders eat me.
Well, that's not. Then you'll be a spider.
This is all documented already, you guys. You're way overthinking this. See, to answer your question, Wasted, The spider needs to be radioactive and it needs to bite you.
Okay.
If you try to introduce yourself to radiation with a bug, you end up as the fly.
Or a South Park episode where you're bouncing on your balls like they're jump around toys.
There. Perfect. Yeah.
As long as it's not the human Sentai Pad episode, I'm in.
Oh, that's disturbing. I had to bring that up.
No one reads the fine print on those things. Oh, goldfish.
I can't stop Kyle.
Okay, we can't talk about it. We'll get demonetized just for talking about that episode.
What goes in must come out.
Oh, God.
Spicy rolls.
We're still monetized, Jim. Don't ask me how.
That's insane.
Listen, it's because we try to talk about car stuff normally, and they're like, man, these guys aren't talking about cars. Demonetized. But today we started with some weird stuff. It doesn't even know what to do.
They're like, you guys are talking about cars.
It's transcribing this documented script right now, and it's just like, we need to send this to the FBI first.
Should I send this
to the government?
Teacher, well, it's going to be Mongrels is the one that's going to be in real trouble because he's conspiracy across state lines or country lines out of country here. So,
hey, you know what?
CIA is going to just bust in.
So, my mind just went way off topic. Mongrels. I have to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
A Kanukistan question.
Ooh,
so now that the Prime Minister of Canadian is getting divorced.
Oh, he is.
When he gets a girlfriend, will she be the second lady of Kanukistan, or
can she be the side lady? Can she be the Kanukistan side lady?
Yes.
Well, okay, no, I'll take this off.
How's that work?
I'm going to say there's no guarantee it's going to be a lady.
Oh,
all right. Well, all right.
It'll be the first man.
Very progressive. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. First lady and first man.
Because our prime minister is very.
Who's your prime minister?
Trudeau.
Oh, okay.
He's very, very supportive of.
There's a whole state between me and Kazakhstan. I don't.
Very, very supportive of all sorts of.
What was the
stuff? I guess. To put it.
He's very European, I believe, is what they say.
Okay, sure.
European.
New Age. I think New Age is an appropriate term.
No, you overuse that because you're like 90. Like you in your brain are as old as Jim is in real life.
Probably.
There it is.
He's totally an old man over there.
Fashion.
He is. You're completely old timey.
Yeah, I don't like new things.
Like that's how I would describe you to people. This is my old timey friend. He likes monocles and top hats and glass.
I would have a monocle.
I know you would.
But we've already discussed what a monocle
call him an old soul friend.
It paralyzes your face, so we can't do that.
The fact that the only reason I know that is because he told us about that because he wanted a monocle.
I've often thought about what I would do with a bum leg and how cool a cane would.
Why don't you just get a cane?
I have.
Why do you need a bum leg?
I have a couple. They're just very jaunty without a real limp.
You want to be house.
Yeah. And I can't fake a limp. That just seems disingenuous.
They are still flying out there. So in case anyone wanted to know, we had a bad thunderstorm last night, and we've got like 6 fires around right now.
A bad thunderstorm today.
Oh yeah, no, I took the fire department to the fire this morning off-roading. I put 100 miles on the rig this morning between the hours of 9:30 and 2.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
In the woods.
So next week it's going to be your smoke that's all over my front lawn.
Hopefully not. We're trying to get that shit put to bed right now.
Get off my lawn, dude.
I don't think that.
It will if it's bad enough. It'll get to you. Listen, when the super volcano Yellowstone goes thermonuclear, and it'll get to you.
It'll cover.
Well, then that's another question. If a nuclear fallout occurs with nuclear war imminent, do you drive away from the fall point or do you drive, towards it?
Well, you're going to have to be more specific on where the point is because there's a lot of.
I think what he's trying to get at is: do you want to prolong the suffering or do you want to get it over with?
You're going to have to be more specific on the size of the kilowatt or kilotonnage on this thing too.
I live near DC. I won't even notice.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, that's over.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they said due to jet streams, Midwest would be the place to drop one.
Well, that depends what you're trying to do. Are you trying to irradiate the entire country or are you trying to make it turn to glass?
I feel like destroying your best customer is a bad idea.
I feel like either way, Southern Oregon is probably safe.
You think that, though?
I'm hoping real hard. There ain't shit here. What are they trying to nuke?
I cannot imagine why they would not want to take out Portland.
That's Northern Oregon, Washington. That's 4 hours away. I should be okay for a little while.
Right? Should be fine. I should be able to watch it coming. I mean,
I feel like I'll roast some marshmallows before.
It's really shiny over there.
It's a tan, like you wouldn't believe.
Nuclear conversation.
Well, it
kind of ties into what we were discussing.
I feel like radiation is in the title.
I feel like if he would have been truly smart and also malicious, there definitely could have been a dirty bomb invented pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think anyone would have thought he was malicious in any portion of this.
I do the Boy Scout, for God's sakes. He looks malicious.
Did he get his Eagle Scout or not?
He dropped out.
He should have. I mean,
he dropped out of the Boy Scouts, actually.
So he didn't finish the Eagle Scout thing.
He did not.
But he did get his atomic energy badge.
He did, which was uncommon.
Well, I believe
because this all ties back to we all emphasize the fact that he was a Boy Scout when none of that actually matters.
Yeah, I think that's so. That is funny because all of the stories talk about radioactive Boy Scout. The Boy Scout thing is like such a key component of this story, and I don't, like you said, don't know why. It's really inconsequential, other than the fact that that's kind of what started him down. I guess.
I think the reason they keep referring to that is, if I recall, he's the only one to have ever gotten that particular badge.
Yeah, but I watched that. All you had to do was draw a diagram, write about it, and build a soda can fucking thing.
I doubt he was the only person that had it. I think he was just the only person that had it within his troop.
I don't know.
Because I feel like if it's a badge, somebody's going to go get it.
It was rarely ever done. They made a point to say it.
Well, I just think that just is a fluff piece to the story itself.
Well, I think it ties. Okay, it's like anytime there's a sailor who does something wrong, it's not Billy Bob from this. It's sailor creates, pile up on the freeway. Marine does something terrible in Okinawa. Air Force dude. Well, you guys don't do shit anyhow, so I don't know. There's never a story. But,
there's never crazy stuff from us. We're vetted.
Did dudes do this?
That's one of the greatest stories ever.
Well, the reason I'm laughing is because James and I talked about doing this one for an episode too. Was the Killdozer story?
James and I talked about doing this one.
Yeah,
I can weld.
No, just talking about doing this story. not I can weld. Damn it, Jim. Now
we've got the ultimate set of tools.
We are going to be on a freaking watch list now.
I mean, I can't afford a dozer that size, but
you guys are very lucky. I don't own a plumbing company.
Hey, but
muffler shop.
Oh, it's a
muffler
shop.
I'm going to put everyone at ease right now. I've seen dudes welding. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if we get on the watch list,
I don't know if there's enough metal there. You got to worry about it. That rear end was strong just because there was all the metal back there.
Which, the fuel cell?
Yeah,
I'm just hoping we get on the watch list so that we have a lot more viewers.
So we actually get somebody to come watch.
It's not watch list.
I don't think that's exactly how that works.
What? I don't understand.
It's like the note
day they'll remember my name.
The no-fly list is not the fly list you want to be on.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think it lets you fly. Can you call it a fly list at all?
Well, it's the no-fly list.
It's no fly list, and you implied fly list.
It's still a fly list.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
list of people that fly or shall not.
Or don't.
You
It's
think
true. You guys always. No. We're going to talk about how the fact that you guys always had fucking AC, because he's not wrong.
Oh, yeah,
everywhere we went. I know. That was the best time I
stayed in a tent that wasn't air conditioned.
I did when I didn't stay with the Air Force. And then we always like to stay with the Air Force because you guys had AC.
The AC unit was half the size of the tent.
Facts. Like,
I never understood how that worked in a wartime environment, just for the sheer fact of it was loud as heck, too. Like,
the
just sitting there humming away.
The watch list is a great pad. It's probably already freaking taken. I don't know. I still think my... I can't say. How did it go?
They're probably talking about roll-ups, too. That would be the sad part.
Oh, probably.
The watch list on Apple Podcast.
There you go.
Talking about new content coming to Netflix. It's a movie.
Even worse.
What a waste of a title. Come on.
Yeah, Netflix. God, that's got to be awful.
The Watch List Podcast discussing TV shows.
Right there. I bet you did.
Can you imagine what that would be like?
I bet you there's more than 3 people watching that show.
This season on The Witcher.
Yep.
Have you watched The Witcher?
I have tried to watch the 3rd season, and I fall asleep every time I try to watch an episode.
I've been waiting for it all to come out, and I want to watch it, but I know it's going to be...
1st season good, 2nd season decent, 3rd season I can't keep my eyes open.
Well, there's probably a reason why he freaking left then.
Yeah, there's a very definite reason. They wanted to stick to the content. They kind of did their own thing.
Yeah. And I feel like there are certain stories to be told that I think you can do that with the source source material. Equipment. Yeah, it's totally. Well, I mean, it is something you're flopping out and you're using. Yeah, just lay it out there for you.
There is a bit of that in The Witcher.
There is a little bit of that. Yeah. There's a fair bit of that in The Witcher, actually.
There's a fair bit of that.
Now you're on a watch list.
I mean, The Witcher's on my watch list. It is.
That's a
whoa.
The timing of that is
that's a weird comment at all.
Maybe you should take down those pictures of Henry out of your woodshed.
You got one hanging over the bunk bed.
You head up to Canada, visit Trudeau. I mean, that's your thing.
Boy.
Hey, I don't sing that way, but he's a handsome man. Oh,
I was talking more about the show than I was the dude, but
right.
Sure. You tell him however you want to tell him.
You're winning.
This is why we can't. This is why we can't have nice things.
Hey, you're the one with nice things.
We gotta be.
There's a possible amount of time.
It's over an hour, so this is normally when it happens.
This when it's done.
We're still monetized.
No way.
I don't know. I'll tell you.
Somebody fell asleep at the switch. Clearly.
Obviously, they took the day off, and it's fine. Oh man.
What stage of life am I at that I literally taking you all to McDonald's with me because nothing else on YouTube is worth watching right now? What are we eating? Big Mac? McRib.
Well, we don't have the McRib up here.
What?
No.
Not enough grimaces around?
Yeah, I was going to say, grimaces don't like cold territory. God, I can't unsee that video.
Plus, he's out in the east, so he's got they probably still have the McFish.
That's a thing everywhere.
I'm going to say the McFish never went away.
I don't think we have the McFish anymore.
What does your McDonald's sell?
Buff, I will say I do enjoy things that are pre-broken, so I don't feel bad about breaking them worse. I don't like having nice things.
I like nice things.
They're stressful, and the first time once you scratch it the first time or do the first thing that really kind of fucks it up a little bit, it's like a weight has been lifted because you're like, all right, it's done now. It's done. It is what it is.
True. I have a dent in the middle of the hood of a brand new Bronco, and I'm just like, I'm glad that's there because I don't have to be mad at the next one.
Dude, I brought my X3 totaled, and the first time I smashed it off of something, I was just like, whatever. It's already broken. If that would have been the first time, I would have been highly upset.
You guys got to read the chat, man.
That's a throwback there, Fox, to last week.
Yeah.
Nice, I like it.
Poutine. I want some of that. I swear to God, if McDonald's
I deep dived on
I'd
that.
go.
There's actually a big push to remove and change the name of that because it's too relatable to Putin.
Shut.
Really?
Yep, they're actually
When they
claiming
do
that it honors him, so they want to change the name so that they don't have a food dish named after.
I have some questions on that.
Wow.
One, poutine's obviously been around for a long time, right?
Yeah,
How long has that been around, Canada?
forever.
I don't know, a long time.
Long time. All right. So Putin's how old?
Well,
Like,
you know what?
Get the hell out of here. We had it first, you know?
No, I don't
You know
know
what
if that's necessarily the case, actually.
Oh.
I've
See,
got
that's
an
why I was
idea
asking.
for McDonald's. This is a winning idea for McDonald's. All they need to do is make a gravy sauce, and then you can just rip the little thing open like barbecue sauce and dip your fries in it. And
Shut the front door. I'm not against
Well,
that.
KFCs
But
are failing hard enough; they could just borrow that from KFC and import it over.
Just get their
Well,
gravy.
I
Gravy
challenge
packets.
Twist and Twisted to go in there and say, "Order, could I please have a
Is that a
McDouble
thing in
double?"
Canada? Do
What's
they
that?
sell gravy packets for the fries?
No. Not that I'm
So
aware
your
of.
McDonald's
Sure
isn't
they do,
good.
right?
They got nothing good.
I was just looking
I
at you
know,
like,
I haven't figured
no,
that out.
no one does that. Get out of here.
I haven't
They
figured
They
that
don't
out
have
in
the
Canada.
McFish. They don't have the McRib. They don't have the
Well,
gravy packets.
Here,
What
you
are
know
gravy
why?
packets? The poutine,
Listen,
come on.
all of that innovation gets done down here. You know, and they
Yeah, we
just
do
don't do that
food
kind of
bowls.
innovating.
We do
Yeah.
food bowls and meat sandwiches, like 2 pieces of meat with more meat in the center.
Okay, now you're just quoting the entire KFC freaking menu
Hey.
over there.
They double down, literally, with the
Literally. I will tell you though, their new chicken sandwiches that are fighting the other people's chicken sandwiches are actually pretty decent.
Dang it! Now I want some KFC.
I don't
Okay.
understand why they have to put pickles on all these fucking chicken sandwiches.
I don't either too, because that's the first step. Get rid of the pickles. No one wants that shit.
What?
Yeah,
Pickles?
get the shit out of here.
Oh, so we're team. You two love the pickles and listen.
Okay. I don't
guys
like
are
the pickles
big,
only because they make the bun all soggy.
Whatever. Get out of here, you big pickle fan. You want the big old round ones too, don't you? Yeah.
The juicier the better.
Juicier the better. It's not a Vlasic.
Yeah, I practice on biting. You practice on whatever.
There's no pickles. There's no sucking.
We don't have pickles on the chicken up here. I don't know what you're talking
We have
about.
a lack of pickles in Canada. Maybe it's not a good filler.
They slather it in mayonnaise and throw a tomato on top with some lettuce and.
So
away you
Buff's
go.
telling me here, poutine's been around since before maple syrup was invented.
That's what Buff's saying, but I don't think so.
You guys,
I don't think Buff knows he's Canada dry. Oh.
do you guys like fish sticks?
I'm
No.
allergic to seafood.
No, don't say it.
Do you
I do
like
not
fish
like-
sticks in
nope.
your mouth?
No.
Jim's like, this is getting demonetized whether you want it or not.
You're gay,
You boys-
Kanye West.
I just think it's great that we all know that one. You see that? So many
What's
different
McDowell's?
generations, and we all know that.
That's why I just go to McDowell's. Oh, coming to America, McDowell's.
There you go.
Yep.
McDonald's.
I forgot for like almost a month.
Arches. Oh man.
I was trying to get us demonetized. You guys didn't fall for it, though. Oh well.
Listen, it's amazing that it hasn't happened already.
Well,
Maybe
I'm
they've just
actually
given up.
shocked with some of the topics we discussed earlier.
I think everything was family friendly and suitable for all audiences.
Well, it is. This is clearly.
I think your definition of family friendly and mine are a little bit different.
That's
Listen,
made for Boy Scouts.
Ted Bundy had a family.
And they ultimately screwed up his deal.
So that's a family.
We're a very
and-
good family. I'm just saying.
All right. Okay. So speaking of Ted, or not Ted Bundy, but what's his face? Charles Manson. Speaking of him,
Charles,
you guys know.
we did not speaking of him. You totally just
Where did you come
you
from?
turned the
Your
whole
sentence over.
conversation.
Let's talk about Charles Manson. Go on.
Yeah.
Look, you guys said something about a family, so all I could think of was Charles Manson's family. But
That's
Okay,
what we think
all right.
about when we say family. All right, Jim.
That's a t-shirt short right there. Charles Manson. When I think hear family.
When I think Family Man, I think Charles Manson.
Did you guys?
We gotta call him Charlie. Charlie Manson.
He did have some loyalty. He did have some.
Did you guys see that they are auctioning off the door from Sharon Tate's house?
No.
The one that somebody wrote pig in blood on. They're auctioning it off right now. And they thought it was going to get to like $1,000 or something. It's on the internet. It's on the internet. Look it up.
Yeah, but was it on the door back on the house for a long time? Was it in evidence all this time? Like,
no, it got when they redid the house, somebody washed it and they took the door off and then the door went to like Louisiana or something. It's totally.
It has door lineage.
They have Providence on it.
Door Providence.
I'm telling you.
I didn't realize this was a thing.
The Charles Manson door.
You Americans, you're weird.
I don't even want to hear it. I know you guys got some weird shit up in the woods.
I feel like that's no.
I watched a documentary on
the
border for us in Kanakistan this week that was quite interesting.
I feel like the guy that's showing people their Charles.
Got to learn about all your fur trapping heritage and whatnot up there. And the Canadian Shield. Didn't know what that was until I watched a thing on it.
Yeah. Front door tied to Charles Manson family murders to be auctioned. The Washington Post.
Jim's just not going to let this go, is he?
Door to home where Sharon Tate was murdered by Charles Manson.
It's all he thinks about when he hears family.
Charlie.
I don't understand why this door is a thing.
Or Chuck.
To be sold. I think Charlie.
A morbid thing that nobody even knows the relevance to anymore because it's such an old story that no one cares about.
If it wasn't for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood story that just came out a couple years ago, I think there's a whole generation that didn't even know Sharon Tate was none of it.
Yeah. Charles Manson was an obscure reference.
Yep.
I think Marilyn Manson made Charles Manson more relevant at a certain point.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
The current bid.
Now we can tie it back
it's up to $30,000 already.
$30,000 for a door.
Yeah,
I mean, you're rich. And
Jim, just stop bidding on it. All right?
Yeah.
Stop.
I mean,
to be fair, that's only half as much as it costs to clean up nuclear waste in Detroit back in the 90s.
That's not money.
You got just for inflation wasted.
Get wrecked. I'm not doing that. We're going with
it. For inflation. It's not right.
Okay, well then if we're going for inflation, that's exactly how much it costs to clean up a mess in that.
I linked it in the Discord, so somebody can bring it up if you want and show everyone.
I feel like
okay. I'm not. I'm good.
I can't even find the Discord now.
It's a little current topic there. Current event.
Is it nuclear? It's a double door. How do you know this is the door?
How do you know that's the door?
Give me a door, okay?
I told you they have provenance on that.
Oh, there's a thing on the bottom here.
There's a handoff chain, like
there's
an
a
evidence chain.
The door?
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to see the chain of custody.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I would too if I were bidding on it, but I'm not bidding on it. But I mean, you guys
features 9 glass window panels on the top, a center ledge, a brass knob, and a golden turn lock. Please note the front door appears to have been repainted. Oh, really?
So it could be any damn door at this point. The fuck out of here. 30 grand for this. Listen, I am doing it wrong. So wrong.
Okay, so they literally tell you the lineage of the door's manufacturing design in this description.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dancing, what's up, brother?
Modeled after a great cottage door of the Eastern 1900s. What is this? This is
Chucky.
Dimensions. Link of the image and the Tate standing in front of the doorway. They have pictures of her with the door. Like, I feel like we need to just find old-timey pictures of murderous scenes and be like, that's the door. I got the door in the picture. I have lineage.
I like how the current bid is 30,000 and the estimate is worth 2,000 to 4,000.
Yeah, we blew right on by that.
We started at 500.
Well, I feel like the person who brings it to the auction, the guy's got to be like, well, what do you think it's going to go for?
I feel like this was one of those things where at bid 5, somebody was just up bidding and somebody's like 2,000, 2,500, $3,000. $35,000.
When I heard about it, when
4,000.
I heard about this story, it was
$30,000.
25,000. Now it's at 30. So
That's not.
Jesus.
I feel like this is fake. I feel like that is a fake account bidding on this item, and then they are not going to be a real person, and then everybody's going to be mad because somebody actually.
Oh, where it just runs the bid up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's people that do that to art and things like that they believe is, blah blah blah.
So, but do you know this is the pre-bid? It doesn't actually. The auction doesn't actually run.
Door is so.
It's an
weathered.
in-person auction that runs
Buff
9/8.
A project that gets the name Chucky is definitely something that tries to kill you every time you drive it.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know why you do that.
Not Christine, Chucky. Oh, okay.
You want to go to names that have relevance. I mean, we can't call anybody Karen anymore. I mean, you can't name your daughter Karen.
I mean, you can.
Christine would be a great road tripping car.
You're coming back to that one.
Circling back around.
That brought me back to it.
When I think Christine, I think family.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Charlie Manson family.
I mean, that's connects.
Yes, in this show, that connects all back.
Somehow. We don't know how, but it's connected.
You are not wrong. That is on brand and on.
I got a board right over here now. I'm just putting the yarn. That's on the tack.
The old Charlie Day board to go with. Let me tell you.
Oh,
yeah, you follow me. I mean,
then we're gonna sell the car for $40,000, and in the trunk there's gonna be a door, and it's gonna have Providence.
And the door's worth $40,000 as well. Yes. So you're getting $80,000 worth of value here, folks.
That's a bargain.
You can't pass up on a deal like this. You just can't.
And we're going to throw in the Pontiac from Radioactive Boy.
There you go.
I really am disappointed that we.
Yeah, what did they do with that car?
They say they never gave it back.
Because I mean, the car had to been.
Why would
the shed?
It's probably buried with
way
the shed.
over the amount.
So, did you notice that they talked a lot about what they did with the shed and everything in the shed, but they don't talk anything about what they did with the reactor or the car?
Yeah, because they can't tell you, because to those standards are not to today's standards of what probably should have been done with.
Oh, well, that's the real question. You know that thing's still fucking making more radiation.
I was going to say they probably set it up.
We got rid of it.
Oh, is that what it did? Oh, so that's what mongrels think is his reactor was so good, the government stole it. And now that's what we've been making all of our power off of ever since.
Yep.
So you're saying there's a Pontiac Sunbird.
That's what's powering. It's powering all Detroit
right now.
Yeah,
it as a nuclear reactor.
You know what they did?
And there's AC/DC still in the A track.
I'm going to take this one step further. This Pontiac is sitting there powering the Tesla plant.
It's in Flint, Michigan. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, they put it in the water there.
They were in Michigan.
They buried it.
Oh, they just stuck it in the river, and that's what poisoned the water.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
No, yeah, makes
sense. It's powering the Tesla plant.
Yeah, let's take it back to the fact that this guy was at this intelligent level without Google.
Yes.
That's the really astonishing part here.
Something. Well, that's like we were talking about earlier. I call things common knowledge that, probably aren't necessarily, but you can open your phone and get anything.
I mean, that was 95. They had Yahoo.
It was 94, 95, something like that.
Yeah. They had Yahoo. They had Excite Search. They had.
He was spending all the money on chemicals.
Not in the suburbs of freaking Detroit. They didn't have any of that.
He wasn't winding his dial up to go get some Yahoo.
I mean, he could have been, gophering that shit.
That is true. I mean, you put it in
I feel like if somebody would have given him a computer, he would have spent his time more wisely.
Well, I think if somebody would have shown him some pussy, he probably would have went after that more than.
Maybe that was the goal, man. He's like, once I get this nuclear fission.
Oh, is this like Bill Gates? I'll become the king of computers, and then I'll have all the girls type of thing. Okay.
They'll respect me once I have my fission.
You could ask. No, never mind. I was gonna say something about Gates and Epstein, but that's definitely good.
My wife just showed up. She said he just wanted to be Spider-Man. Accurate.
We've already talked about that. You're so late to this conversation. I had so many questions on how to become Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way too close to home there, Benson.
Ask Jeeves on how to
Ask Jeeves. Oof.
Yeah.
Ask Jeeves about the fission.
Go back to computer. Hashtag demonetized.
Well, I mean, he was probably meeting people to learn his things on Friendster, and he was just tearing it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
we're still monetized over here. I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of dial-up, I still have a Earthlink
4chan. Oh, 4chan was that was the Wild West back. There was all kinds of terrible things.
I have documentation.
Here we go.
The reference is interweb and program, and they spell programmer and internet different because it wasn't trademarked or standardized yet.
Oh.
Before they had chosen the words.
The chosen words.
Yep, the chosen words. This is how we spell internet. Remember how they used to spell laptop?
Nope, never paid attention.
Yep. There's two forms of laptop. One used in a lab and one used on your lap.
Had a whopping 300 modem. Oh,
300.
That's like an original modem.
Yeah.
Still have speeds about that same speed here now. Currently, if I wasn't on the old science.
Because you said this earlier. No one lives there. They won't even bomb it.
I actually watched a documentary on the abandoned West Coast or whatever they called it. No one lives between basically San Francisco and Eugene.
Because there's no water there.
No, it's just a mountainous, rocky meth head place. So no one really goes there. But not as far up and snowy.
Yeah. So you're gonna buy some property there?
What, Wyoming or here?
No, they're between San Francisco.
The barren lands.
Yes, I am literally looking for it. Unfortunately, it's all somehow worth
6,000.
Shut up! It was a
Chevy Celebrity.
Yeah. There we go.
Which a Beretta would be the two-door version of the
bottom of the river in Flint.
So I wasn't wrong. Connecting the dots.
Napster. Oh God, I forgot about Napster.
That's why I hate Metallica. Moving on.
Yeah, Metallica. Exactly. But to be fair, they were losing a lot of money that they were screwing people over for. So
who?
The music industry and Metallica, i.e.
See, that goes back to, if you are an artist, if we want to call music art, you should want to display your art freely to whoever wants to listen.
But I don't want that. I want money.
Then you're not.
Do you guys remember the 598 EP?
No.
By Metallica? Yeah, they put out this album. It was called the 598 EP, and if you paid more than $5.98, you were supposed to let them know about that because people were getting screwed. Yeah,
they were overcharging the.
There was a markup for what they were,
Right. They only wanted the album to be sold at $5.98.
We're giving you such a good deal that if you steal it, you're the criminal here.
No, other people were marking it up.
Yeah, I get that.
Stores were marking it up. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? That's how all middlemen work.
Well, yes.
So they're supposed to distribute it at cost?
No, they're supposed to distribute it. It's supposed to be $5.98. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, so do you know how much it costs to make a CD?
$2.
I don't think this was a CD.
Or even records back in the day. They were pennies to create and go on. Now, this is in mass, when it was mass production. Obviously, small limited runs will cost more, but mass production, like the big, what was it, BMG or was that the big music label? Who was the one that would make all the fucking CDs back in the day? You could get like CD packs sent to you.
$3.50
a CD.
Bulk $1.25.
There you go, $1.25. And how much was your latest new Metallica freaking disc when it came out? $15 or some bullshit like that. Markups everywhere.
Actually, if you're producing over 1,000, it's about 80 cents.
There you go. And so these guys are selling millions the first week.
No, that is why.
Hey, look, I'm all for people making money, but
rich.
I
that
am
whole
too.
Napster thing sucked.
Oh, it did. Well, and realistically,
But
old
that's what I'm
Napster.
saying. There was enough people buying albums that I don't care if I downloaded something from Napster.
Well, I mean, what you
I
really
would buy-
downloaded from Napster was a virus.
Well, here's the reality. If I'm a
And
guy
remember-
that's downloading
remember
music,
Lime-
I'm
was
never
it-
the guy that's buying music. I'm not going to go
was
buy
it,
Metallica because I can't download it now.
Freaking was it freaking LimeWire was the other
LimeWire was a good one.
Yeah.
I was downloading all of that stuff because all of my tapes that I had bought.
Oh, there he is, LimeWire right there.
You know, all my
That was the
tapes
one
were
I
fucked
used.
up and all that stuff. So it was nice to just go ahead and download it again.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Should I'd already paid for it.
Yeah.
Jim's giving me an idea, guys. We should go get a Pontiac 6000 and auction it off.
Yeah. As
Wait,
the
wait,
nuclear
wait.
car has
With a
lineage.
nuclear reactor in the back.
Oh my God! All we got to do is we can make, but you don't make a real one. You just make a replica of the soda can one he made.
So a giant ball with duct tape wrapped around it.
Yeah, and
we'll
you
put a
too.
toolbox in there with duct tape and everything else.
But you too could get your Boy Scout nuclear or atomic badge for making it. You know.
Yeah, for documenting it.
Yeah, yeah. U2 is the one, Buff, who did an album on iPhones and pushed them to everyone. Like, you didn't get to say you wanted YouTube's album. It just all of a sudden was on your phone.
Speaking of iPhone, did you hear that they're pushing out the new update, which will invalidate everything below iPhone 8?
That's why I don't do updates.
Well, I don't know if like you just won't be able to update your phone anymore, or if that's it. The older iPhones won't work.
So it looks like to be about $1,500 to $3,000. We can own a Pontiac 6000.
Nice.
That is $1,500 to $3,000 too much.
You'd think so, but these are actually becoming pretty popular and unique at this point. What are you?
I mean, I know so, and I stand by it. I don't care how unique it is. Unique. I find unique is just a nice way to say like something bad about something.
Yeah, it's like saying eccentric.
I bet we could get Buff to take it. He likes his Pontiacs.
He has a special place.
Don't worry about it. It's special.
I actually just deleted that not too long ago off of my phone. That U2 album. It was on my phone until not that long ago. So U2 did this thing where everyone got a free copy of their album, but you didn't get a choice about getting the free. Like iTunes just uploaded it to your phone one day without your consent. So they essentially ear raped me with U2.
Oh.
I did not consent.
I had to go look up who U2 was.
I mean, you could just.
Oh my God. You don't know who U2 is.
Oh.
You still haven't found who you're looking for?
Oh, come on.
He doesn't get it, but everyone else got that.
I don't listen to trash music. So
now we're demonetized.
Listen. The Joshua Tree album was actually really good, and then the War album was pretty decent.
And
then it went downhill from there.
Kind of music. You're cool.
So that was my dad's.
That's my dad's. Really went downhill after that third album.
Oh, look at this guy. He's just ready.
I had to. I'm ready for us to get the Pontiac.
I feel like you got to get New Mexico plates for it. Just saying.
I don't think I have any New Mexico plates.
Sure, we can figure it out.
I could probably find some.
Oh, somebody in our network has a set of New Mexico plates for our nuclear powered Pontiac. This is a terrible idea.
So that goes back to the original.
When the police pull you over,
you've
got radioactive stuff in the trunk.
Don't look in the trunk; it's radioactive. Never say that to a cop. Okay.
Should we order up a Geiger counter? I mean, I feel like we probably need
to. I can't believe you haven't ordered one already. You've been so about.
I think we should get one and test it on different clocks.
I think it's something you probably don't really want to know.
We talked about the human Sentai pad earlier. Well, I think when you were gone there, Buff.
How did we get back on this? I don't want to talk.
Buff did put it in the freaking comments. Look right there. He said it. Don't blame me for bringing it back up. It's all his fault.
So let's go back to the topic at hand.
Oh,
We
we've
believe
kind of
that this was all a case of bad parenting.
No, I don't think it's all a case. No,
or just a highly intelligent human being that was well above his years and had a pretty good knowledge of reading.
I think that if he was, well, I mean, there's two ways. If he was dumb, he probably wouldn't have done this.
Yeah. Well, I think there has to be a certain amount of intelligence to get him to the point that he got to.
I get that, but I feel like the kid who's sitting here playing on his phone all day is like, huh? I don't necessarily have to worry about him building a nuclear reactor in the backyard.
Well, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole idea of all these phones, to make sure kids don't build nuclear reactors because the information is more widely available.
Yeah, and this gives up just as much radiation all the time anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's true.
TikTok is to make sure our children don't build nuclear reactors.
Well, I mean, idle hands are the devil's nuclear reactor makers.
And I think family.
Charlie Manson.
Chucky.
Yeah.
Bring on the Chuckster.
Are we back on Chucky? Yeah, a little yellow cake. Never heard it.
Unless it's Mastinox. That's nasty stuff.
All I'm saying is September 8th, we need to check back on that door and see where it's at. That's all I'm saying.
It goes to September 8th?
September 8th is when the auction ends. So
what kind of an auction are we doing this?
Okay.
Are you still talking about the door?
Here's the thing. We're back on the door for sure, because this isn't even good auction etiquette. How are you going to blast your load at 30,000 on like day 2?
Tell me more about blasting your load.
Yeah,
I feel like we need a
auction
scene
and look how excited! And look how excited this is.
I mean, the expert on him blasting his loads right next to him.
Oh, are we demonetized now?
I don't know. I just put that. She said it needed to be there. I agree.
You got to hold it.
We are still monetized, going strong tonight.
Something's wrong here.
Listen, you don't say that.
Somebody is asleep at the switch. I'm telling you.
They have just realized that we are fine. I don't even know what to call us.
Upstanding cargo.
Upstanding podcasters. And they don't need to treat us like the Gestapo, I'm just saying.
Podcast.
Well, now we're demonetized that you said that word.
You flipped that. That's a flip roll reversal right there.
Yeah.
Us, like them.
Yeah. Don't worry. Just let it go.
Well, we're good.
Let it go.
Just let it happen.
I feel like that was said many times. Why are you here? Go play in the shed.
Yes, there was a lot of, and that brings me to, I do make a point that if anyone did some real adulting in that situation, we wouldn't have a nuclear fallout in Detroit. That's some cat's ass.
I think, a mobile reactor in one of those new Mustangs would probably be good, right?
So you're saying if it was a Mustang, he wouldn't have gotten the cops called on him?
How sketchy did he have to look, though? Like,
did you see the pictures of that kid at 3 a.m? He's sketchy. I don't care. He was kind of a ginger.
Kind of radiation.
I mean, look, the truck may have been blowing.
Didn't get to eat a lot.
He was a ginger, wasn't he?
No, he had frosted blonde tips and was just.
Listen, he looked like a ginger, so I don't trust him.
Lack of soul.
No soul.
No soul.
Last South Park references tonight.
Taken from him, nuclear reactive style.
Listen, you want to talk about the Loch Ness Monster? I'll get full into it.
What?
What? Where did this come from?
His love of Henry.
Have you guys never? No, that's completely. That's different.
It's different. It's all.
No, have you guys never seen the South Park episode about the Loch Ness Monster and the succubus?
Oh yeah.
Chef is going to marry a succubus, and we meet Chef's parents, and they tell us a story about the Loch Ness Monster.
That is such a great episode.
It just wanted $350, and he's like, "What do you need $350 for?" $350. I was like, "Nah, she gave him $1."
We're not get that $100.
Exactly, that's the best one. Here we go. Blame the Ford guys. We're saying he would have got away with it with a Ford, right?
Yeah, he would have had a Ford. He could have just rode off into the sunset, dropped that thing in a tree forest that would have become a housing development at some point. And
the problem is when you wreck the Mustang into a crowd of people with that reactor in the back, it goes up in a mushroom cloud.
That would have been bad news bears.
I thought it was Cubs.
It gets to Herb snickering anyways.
It's just time for my annual battery change. I can't go
battery change. He doesn't have a nuclear reactor in there.
No. Yeah, I haven't gotten the fission together to get the forever.
But I do like that he actually fixed his screen finally.
Yeah, finally pissed me off.
Selected the right choice on the camera.
I went to a different setting that is less good, but full size.
Less good.
Actually works.
Does that mean you actually listened to Dudes finally and
no,
it worked?
We figured it out.
No and yes, no. What?
Do you remember what Dude said months ago?
So to be fair, I see less.
I mean, Mopar out of control, Mopar drivers out of control.
I see less Mopars going into crowds of people.
I don't.
No.
Have you seen a street takeover? Have you seen a street takeover?
The street takeover is different because those guys are in the street, like in there doing it. Whereas with a Mustang, they're like leaving a car meet. And it's like, oh, look, a Mustang. Oh, look, a Mustang burnout. Oh, hey, look, vehicular manslaughter. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wonder how many charges were pressed.
To be fair,
I feel like there's a Google stat for that.
For what?
I don't get street takeovers. I think they're dumb.
I concur.
I mean, who thought this was a good idea?
Well, I mean, that's easy to see. I mean,
Fast and Furious thought it was a good idea.
Delinquents, people. I mean, it's the same people doing street races and all that other stuff that is. I mean, tell them the story about 210, Jim. It's street racing on 210.
Mustang doesn't even show up in the top 12.
You remember that crash that was on 210 in Maryland? What was it, 15 years ago? Or whatever it was. They were street racing on 210, and so they left, and then everyone got into the street to watch the cars from behind, and then two other idiots were street racing coming down and mowed down the people in the road watching the other. It was bad. Lots of dead.
Well, it seems like a people problem.
Well, it was a street racing problem, which brought the people there.
Are we going to call that the Han maneuver after this episode?
The Han maneuver. Oh, God.
Sounds right.
What are we?
I don't know about that.
I don't know. What's the context here?
Well, that's when you take out a bunch of people.
Well, Han didn't. He hasn't taken anyone out that has been attributed to that yet. I mean, it's questionable with his mom.
Is it really questionable, dude?
They actually went deep dive into that whole conversation, if we want to go there. So what had transpired after that event is her boyfriend decided he didn't want to be part of that whole deal anymore, and he decided to say, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this family dynamic. So he left, and the suicide was consequence of the soured relationship.
Are you sure?
Well, I read too much information, allegedly.
Yeah.
May have been
too much reading. Not sure how accurate any of it is.
I feel like everyone we watched that talked about this did throw drinking as their go-to for what happened to everyone in the stories. Like, oh, they drank a lot afterwards and died.
Did they though?
Well, that's the way they reported it. But like you said, there was a lot of other.
Yeah, I mean, if you call a bologna sandwich with a little bit of shit on it a bologna sandwich,
It's a shitty bologna sandwich.
Or is it just a shit sandwich?
I feel like
drinking goes the other way. Like I can put a lot of things in alcohol, and somebody like he drank himself to death.
Okay, well then that's going to be like COVID.
Fentanyl, sleeping pills, and allergy medication in there.
Probably wasn't the booze that did it. Yeah. Probably wasn't alcohol poisoning. It was probably fentanyl.
And just like what was it? Epstein? David Hahn didn't hang himself.
He did not intentionally commit suicide. He just happened to not have enough stamina that
day. No, she doesn't.
David's mom, she's got it going now.
Not anymore.
I mean, she didn't because she couldn't keep that guy in that ultimate.
Oh, here you go. This is the one. This is 2008. So it wasn't even that long ago.
8-person.
I would have to say
that's like 15 years ago, dude.
Lisa Maryland say 8-person has died after a car roared into a crowd.
Yep.
And 8-person. Oh,
okay. That's probably a follow-up story then. 7 probably died.
That is always the funniest part after any of these events. Like they always include like people way later that were affected long term and then ultimately died.
If you add
cheese, it changes. In a criminal case, that would count.
Yeah. Makes it
the person got into the hospital and then never got out of the hospital, and they died from their injuries.
Facts.
It's murder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's.
I told Brian here a good story about suicide versus murder. He didn't probably read it, but
which I don't remember that one.
Where the guy loaded the gun that his dad used to threaten the mom. He ended up shooting the gun.
Oh, you did tell me that one because
shot the guy falling from the top of the building. So essentially, he was shot and killed before he hit the ground, committing suicide. But he ultimately loaded the gun, so his murderer was himself.
Yeah. So dude throws himself off the roof because his plan for his dad to shoot his mom with the gun he loaded was taking so long to happen. He said, screw it, I'm going to jump off the roof. And when he did, at the exact time, his dad actually did the thing, but missed his mom and shot through the window and shot him as he went down and killed him before he bounced off the concrete. And then
understand. I'm missing some context here.
Okay.
No, that's a great one.
That's about it. It's not really a full plan.
Why was the dad? The dad was
okay. So the dad used to like to get drunk and wave a pistol around at the wife that was never loaded. That was always his thing. It's never loaded. So you don't got to worry about me shooting you. And the son knew he did that, so he loaded the gun to get rid of her because she had was going to kick him out or stop giving him money or some shit like that. But then it didn't happen soon enough, so the guy jumped off to just end it all because I can't take it anymore, and then it happened.
Okay, well.
And he shot him through a window while he was following, killing him. So the coroner was like, he was murdered because he didn't commit suicide because he was shot. So then they tried to try the dad for the shooting of his son to find out that the gun had never been loaded and there was no intention to fire said gun. And the person who loaded the gun was indeed the son who died by the shot of the gun, making him the murderer of himself.
Diabolical.
I just looked at that whole story after you sent it to me. It was like, we have wasted so much taxpayer money on that outcome. I'm figuring that. I don't even know what to call that cluster.
We'll just say it was more than $60,000.
Yeah, probably more than cleaning up nuclear waste.
Even when you go for inflation.
The weird part about that story was the dad then went out, grabbed the body, and threw it in the back of his Pontiac.
Nuclear waste.
You can't make that.
I feel like you just throw everything in the back of your butt. It's like the fucking Narnia closet where you just throw shit in there.
That's for sure. You know how we deal with this insane mess? Pontiac.
Did you say insane meth?
Mess.
Oh, because I have some people around here that'll deal with it differently.
Well, You could probably put them in a trunk in a Pontiac. They'd be fine too.
So, Buff, what do you have in the trunk of your Pontiac?
Yeah. Does anyone else have a magic Pontiac trunk, or was it just David Hahn? I'm a little confused.
I'm afraid now to go open up the trunks of my Pontiacs. I don't know if I want to see what
I need to understand the lineage of that Hahn.
I feel like if you find the nuclear reactor in the back, you're going to have one hell of a auction piece on your hands.
I'm working on the duct tape now.
Root cause analysis, lack of adult supervision. That's my take on this.
I think that's what we determined, right?
Well, that's what I determined. I mean, you guys could be wrong.
But you know what, though? It does go back to the question of whether he was stupid or not. So
yeah,
was he?
He definitely did. He did dumb shit.
Was he stupid or did he commit suicide? Which one?
Who?
Oh, when he actually drank himself to death?
Because if he drank himself to death, then he's stupid.
He
if he
didn't
intentionally,
because he was just having a good time.
Well, so that is another thing. He never had any medical surveys done on him. There was multiple times where people wanted to do his wanted to
flat out
examine him, and he refused to do them because he didn't want to find out what was wrong with him.
That's neither here nor there.
Who is this guy?
When he died, was it because he was stupid? Or because he wasn't stupid and he just killed himself.
Okay. David Hahn's father looks like you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, put it on the screen.
Oh, you got to see this.
Yeah. Why are we not already looking at this?
How has this been missed this entire time? Oh, wow.
I mean...
Yeah.
We both have more of a beard.
What are you talking about? We both have glasses. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
here. I look like all the
family. I think glasses.
Look, and now I don't look like him at all. Weird.
No, you look just like him.
I can't take the glasses off this picture. I don't know.
You know what it is? It's the glare on the glasses.
Is that what it is? The glare?
It's the same glare.
Yeah, it's the glare.
I'm gonna need you to send me a picture so I can alter this one for Google.
For Google, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look at that dude. That dude has a face that says, "I've tried crystal meth."
Yeah, I think he was just trying to come up with something he thought was going to get him real high. And it just happened to be plutonium.
I don't think he was that dumb.
Right?
Shop Chat, what's up? Oh, you're back up here. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but
this belongs in a wax museum of horrors right here. Like,
dude, look at those teeth. Look at the color.
Yeah. Like what is?
If you think meth is bad for you, try radioactivity.
Try radioactive manufacturing.
He looks a little bit like the villain on He-Man.
Well, that's what I think. He looks like Skeletor.
Oh, no. That's a kid from fucking Harry Potter. Draco. Draco fucking Draco radiation boy.
He doesn't have a unibrow. True. Facts. Because it looks like it was burned off.
I was going to say, it looks like he had a unibrow and he did something about it.
Those eyes, they look right into your soul.
Pull up the picture from his mugshot for right before he died with the pock face.
Yeah, that was a lot of something burns.
Yeah, that
the alcohol poisoning.
Is that what
that was? Not alcohol poisoning. That was while he was trying to make his second reactor.
There's a little less Sasquatch on the chin. Allegedly, they never found a second reactor. No duct tape balls were anywhere in his room.
Duct tape balls.
No pictures of Henry.
Strip it off. The hair will come with it.
Yeah, it just falls off. It's weird. You don't even actually have to put the duct tape on your hair to get the hair to just come out. It's just. How many times do I have to tell you not to snort the nuclear material? I mean, come on. Oh no,
it's not giving me a good picture I can pull up.
Played with the demon core. Fine.
Well,
no.
I don't know if this is a complete lack of parental oversight because, I mean, we all want to encourage our kids to do stuff.
Yeah, I think it was just a lack of asking what he was really doing.
But
that is adult supervision. You don't have to be there the whole time, like helicoptering, but you do have to poke your head into the shed and be like, "The fuck is that?" And I bet he would. I bet had anyone,
but there's no evidence that they didn't do that. It's would they know what it is, even if they did poke their head in the shed and say, "Hey, what was that?" Obviously, the mother did. She was in there a few times and threw stuff out.
So, well, this is the part I guess
that was after fact.
Oh,
there you go.
Those.
You don't think,
I'm telling you, that is a ginger if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, his hair's a little more red here. He was
that is definitely a ginger.
You don't think the 100
radioactive burns, Buff says.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Used to play with the dragon. Apparently, we got to look up what the demon core is at some point. I'm afraid to do that on any of my devices, so dude, you can do that.
Demon core?
That's what Rich said.
Just a dude, you look it up. I don't want
he caught that. Yeah, I don't want to be on any watch lists. So,
demon core. The demon core was a spherical 6.2 kilograms subcritical mass of plutonium. 89 millimeters in diameter, manufactured during World War II by the United States Nuclear Weapons Development.
Boom.
So yeah, it's some good stuff. They had some thick metal around that thing.
That's what he was trying to make, but
yeah, the tin.
He decided to use duct tape instead of
tinfoil.
Yeah, he was the Easy Bake Oven edition.
Anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it. It just takes a light bulb and a little bit of paste.
Yeah, you know what? You'd think he'd pick up on that with all the material he read. Now, this is going back to whether intelligent or not so intelligent, where they would have said that you probably need lead to contain this.
So, best part, he wore a lead apron, and he threw away his clothes after every single time. Every time he worked in the shed on it, he would throw away his clothes, burn them, whatever he did, and used a lead apron because he knew that it was bad.
Well, he knew it made him feel bad in a tingly way.
Well, it made me feel all good in my tingly spots.
I don't like it. I'm having to explain these blisters, and nobody believes me.
Okay, so Piston says, look up what happened with the demon core.
All right. Demon core
was made for the third nuclear bomb that was never used.
That's the name for the next Hellcat.
The same plutonium core, nicknamed the Demon Core, was designed and used by Stalin. No. At the time of their accidents, the plutonium core was intended to be used for the core for the third atomic bomb. However, Japan surrendered and the assembly was called off, resulting in the core being left in Los Alamos.
Oh.
Just left it there? It's fine.
I mean, okay. Don't go. We don't go in there.
It doesn't have the triggering device. It's fine.
Easy bake nuclear cookies.
Harry quickly took a brick away, but immediately dropped it. This caused the core to go super critical, generating a glow of light and heat wave. Harry described feeling a tingling sensation in his hands when he removed the dropped brick. This was the moment his body received too much radiation to survive.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You'll have that. People played with it and died.
Yeah. They dropped things on it like that was a good idea. Like, smushing red phosphorus.
You know where it's at.
Okay, to be fair, the red phosphorus needed to be smushed. It's part of the process for making methamphetamine.
And that makes you ask the question, like, how do you smush red phosphorus? Is it more of a slower contact? And you just got to grind it around? No metals involved? No.
Apparently smashing a glass beaker was the wrong way.
Yeah.
Apparently. I feel like if you ask,
I would not be smashing.
If you ask the Google machine how to do it, it'll tell you.
I don't know if it would.
I don't know that you want to tell them on this show because I feel like there's a line at some point of us talking about it.
I guess it only killed 2 scientists. That seems uneventful.
That's not terrible.
Kept pushing the plutonium core to its edge.
This brings me to my question of, you just talked about, is this kid stupid because he did these dumb things and got the reaction? But you're talking about 2 fucking scientists that went to schools and had like degrees and stuff and just hit it with a brick.
Yeah, but it was 1940.
And it was
something.
accidental.
This kid was 13 years old. So, I mean, I feel like we're all talking about things that kind of
But he
equal
could have
themselves.
looked it all up on AOL, and he had
He
the
could,
whole
man.
nuclear regulation committee telling
On
him
the
how to
AOL.
build a better bomb. I mean,
that guy, Bob should have told him how to take more precautions. When he told him, "Oh, hey, yeah, that's all you do." Like, and at one point, at any point, did anyone think it was weird that they had to tell this science professor how to create the bomb or do all these things? Like, and he sounded really young. I mean,
when they tested nuclear bombs and they actually used dynamite to get the subjective levels of explosion radius on a nuclear weapon, they literally did the math wrong.
So Piston's saying no, fuck Harry. He was just he effed around and found out. So I guess that's not helping my case of. I guess what it's saying is that you can have idiots that get degrees and then go to New Mexico and do idiot stuff.
Well, the brick was actually part of the containment of it. So they were actually putting layers on it.
Yeah. And then crushed it.
Well, they let one down too fast and it created a reaction.
Yeah. That's not good. But
they are mentioning gamma radiation, so they were incredible hulking and stuff.
How far they could push it. They found it.
Ooh, never mind. They're Canadian physicists, so there's that.
Oh, Kanakistan.
Canada.
Now that explains why Piston knows so much about it.
Yeah, there we go.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's why he's been quiet the whole time. All Canadians learn about that accident as a national tragedy, and Mongols just didn't
going to sit there and disclose all the stupidity.
He was just hoping we wouldn't figure that part out.
Yeah,
I'll go on the other side and I'll tell you about the Avro Aero engineers that all migrated down to NASA.
You'll have that.
Yeah, well, they probably came from Germany anyway, so.
He was just playing with a screwdriver and slipped. Jesus. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, you got to figure if you work with that stuff enough. I've seen it where people get very lackadaisical with the thing they do day in and day out. You would think when you're playing with nuclear bomb pieces, you would be.
That goes back to Mr. Hahn himself. He did not realize the ramifications of anything he was doing
until he realized it and they talk about it. He realized it when he realized how far past the shed the radiation was going. And that's when he knew, I fucked up. That he should have known he fucked up long before that.
Yeah. When the reaction started, when he realized you could find nuclear materials on clocks by driving around with your Geiger counter on your dash. Like,
do you think he got his Geiger counter at Amazon?
I mean,
Jim, do you have an affiliate link for the Geiger counter on your
now.
YouTube now?
I can put that up.
I feel like you have an affiliate link for this.
But obviously, he's saying, well, look, they sell stuff with nuclear stuff in it. How bad can it be? Maybe there's that line of thinking.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's able to collect. He collected all these things from off the shelf.
Off the shelf, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll be right back. I gotta go kick a coon.
And now we're demonetized.
I feel like he needs to take the camera with him because I want to see this raccoon.
Yeah, what the hell? Why didn't he take the camera? Maybe bring it inside.
Well, if he's kicking a raccoon, I don't think that'll go well on the.
Richard, that does. I mean, nuclear wasn't necessarily the.
I think it'll make a great video when it decides, I don't want to be kicked and I'm going to get back at you.
If he's not making a short out of kicking a raccoon outside, he's wasting. Like, I made a bunch of shorts today about fires and firefighters and things. Content for all the days. After we get done with all the dogs playing in the creek content, because people love that.
No, Buff, I do not believe that is slang for taking a dump.
I sent you the link to the Geiger counter. If you want to just go ahead and put that in there.
My wife doesn't like it when raccoons are outside the door when she tries to go outside to smoke. So,
how many raccoons hang out at your house?
Like 3 or 4.
Okay, just wondering.
Because cat food.
And they don't run off when you open the door?
No, they stand there and bow up. Like, come on.
That's where's my food.
I'm a city raccoon. Come at me, brah.
All right, I think I put the link up for
Perfect.
Geiger
Now everyone
counter.
can
we ended the broadcast.
go check out the Geiger counter.
No, we haven't
haven't.
done it yet. We're well over the 2 hour mark.
We are. We can start wrapping it up. I know people got things to go and do and whatnots, but yeah, I really appreciate everyone coming out to the show tonight. It was a change of pace. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good back and forth over a wild story. Like, seriously, the fact that he was able to do all of those things is just insane in 94. You think there would be a little more regulation on some of it.
I feel like you could pull it off again. And the only, like they said in the one story, if he just wouldn't have been caught by the cops, nobody ever would have known.
Do you think somebody wouldn't have figured it out at some point when they were like, why is everything glowing in this neighborhood?
No, because he was going to go bury the
drinking water contaminated.
Yeah, but his freaking shed was contaminated heavily.
Yeah, but it doesn't keep.
Well, okay, wherever his reactor went to go get buried was going to be.
Oh, that would have been very true.
Yeah.
But who else was driving around with a Geiger counter on there?
Well, is that what we're calling it now? Burying the reactor?
I mean, it does work better if you take it to the woods.
It does work better.
I mean, he was going to take it way out in the woods and bury it really deep, which means he was probably going to go about 20 feet into the woods and dig down about 3 feet and bury it.
Is kicking the coon foreplay with the old lady? Inquiring minds would like to know.
Big raccoon, bows up. You walk out the door, you blow up back at him, and he runs off.
Oh,
I'm fighting you, raccoon. I don't care.
So Buff said, yeah, it's foreplay. Yep.
Okay, what you say?
Oh man, you can't make this up. All right, I want to thank everyone for coming out, especially Rich and Buff and Piston Twistin. We got everybody in the house. Even look at Dean showing up last second. We got Becky Robertson. I want to thank Cousin Cletus and Becky for being sponsors of the channel. And if anyone else wants to get on that, give me your money.
You can be part of my money train.
Oh, what do we call it? It's the Ponzi scheme, right? The pyramid.
That's Ponzi.
It's a really poor pyramid scheme.
I
feel like you're the second in the line. YouTube's the one.
It's not a poor scheme. The government uses it all the time.
We have a whole episode on Amway.
UNICEF.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
You want to talk about a Ponzi scheme? What's an episode on Amway?
Did they Starlink him when he started talking about Ponzi schemes? Because they shut him up real quick right there.
Yeah, I still say the biggest Ponzi scheme is the government.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
They're more of a what is it?
We're going to take your money and we're going to give you something
A
back.
scheme makes you have the idea that there was truth to the situation at some point. We all know what they're doing. Not a scheme, reality.
I'll go back and look, Dean. There's plenty of it's this episode. Are we still monetized? Did we make it to the end? We did. I know. On that note, we're gonna end it, and hopefully it stays monetized. Yeah, before they figure it out. We thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week with some sort of
talk to you.